Hey all, good morning and welcome to Share Trek. This is Raj here. It's around 7 o'clock in the morning and good times continue to roll on. The future market is looking green. All the futures are looking green, but not as strong as yesterday, but still positive. Let us hope that this trend prevails until the market opens. Let's now check out what's happening and is likely in store for us today. Let's get started. Welcome back, friends. The continued bullishness is most probably due to a few factors, and I'm going to list them out here. First is that President Biden is going to unleash oil supply from the strategic reserve to keep oil prices low, hence inflation low. And as we approach midterms, this is going to be the steady trend, and that's what President Biden has signaled. This is boosting the stock market and also contributing in a way to cool the dollar index or at least keep it from raging. So that's the first point. The second point is that the Netflix results have brought back the stock to life, and it gained around 13% after results and caused some really strong positive sentiment in the market. Netflix shares, as I said, rallied 13% after it posted earnings and revenue that bet estimates, as well as strong subscriber growth for the third quarter. So this is giving a positive outlook going forward. And another company, ASML, which creates all the machines that make semiconductors, has also come in with results proving that the ban on China has not yet affected any of its results. So that's also another positive that's going in. And in order to keep this party going, we now need good results from Tesla and IBM along with a good outlook from them. If that happens, we'll have a little more lease of upward trending markets, but we are still in a bear channel, so this I still consider to be a bear rally because all the underpinning issues which caused us to get into this place in the first place has not yet been resolved. So we have a geopolitical situation where China is still tackling the zero COVID issue. There is still a trade war undercurrent going on. There is still Russia-Ukraine war going on. We have Turkey still with hyperinflation. We have countries like Sri Lanka and Pakistan, which are also struggling with their fiscal budgets and liquidity issues. So things are far from where they should be at this point of time. And also our inflation has not yet come down significantly enough. So with that said, at this point of time, I think we should be happy that we are getting a little lease of greenery, and I, for one, am going to be booking calls or selling shares where possible to book profits and wait for another fall. That's my strategy. Of course, this is my personal opinion and not financial advice. And that said, this video contains an index and you can jump to sections that you like. And also while watching, please consider pressing the like button if you like the content. That said, let's get started by looking at our TradingView platform and looking at the pre-market. Well, friends, here we are in the TradingView platform looking at the Nasdaq futures. It's up 0.25%. It's around 7:15 in the morning. And we are still above the resistance line of the previous bear channel, which is now acting as a support line. We'll retain it for maybe a day or two and see if we are able to fall back into the original bear channel or if this is going to be the new support for a new bear channel. That said, the MACD is still bullish and the momentum is also below average, but it's picking up. The 0.30% is not that great to talk about, but still it's a bullish indicator, even though slightly bullish. If you look at the indicators, US oil is moderating around 0.12% to 13% gain in the pre-market, and you can see that we have steadily dropped. And I think we're going to be moderating around this level because whatever cuts Saudi Arabia might come up with, Biden has announced that he is going to release oil from the strategic reserve in order to keep the oil prices down heading into the midterms. So I would think that for sure there'll be more oil released in order to keep control on the oil prices. So we should expect oil prices to eventually come and hit this bear line of resistance from the previous bear channel, which would then act as a support. And by that time, I think we'll be through with the midterm and then bounce back up again. That's likely to happen. And let's look at QQQ. Of course, falling oil prices basically means that it's supporting a reduction of inflation and therefore a benign Fed. And therefore, it pushes the stock market higher. Then let's look at QQQ. QQQ was up 0.79% yesterday, and today When I started the recording, QQQ was positive, but right now it is down minus 0.21%. This is not great. And we can see that we are still in the bear channel from the long-term bear channel. And our next resistance today is going to be 273.52. Right now we're at 271.00. And our next level of support is going to be 268.74. So I'm going to just mark this green. Next, let us look at S&P 500. S&P 500 was up 1.17% yesterday, and today it's down minus 0.22. And if you look at our resistance and support lines out here, we still have some support from 369.94, which is a horizontal line of support, because right now we are at 370.36, and our resistance is going to be at 376.38. Our MACD is bullish and momentum is still below average but pointed upwards. Our next support is going to be this 10-day simple moving average. This is this thick yellow line that you see out here. It's at 364.89. So on the lower end, I'm looking at 364.89, and on the upper end, I'm looking at 376.38 for the S&P 500 today. And if I look at Russell Index, it was up 1.19% yesterday. It's down minus 0.52% today. We have support at 172.14. Right now we are at 173.15, so that's going to be the bottom. And the upper limit for today is going to be the minor line of resistance, which is sitting at 176.53, which is this thick red line out here. MACD is bullish, momentum is above average and pointed slightly upward. It's above 50%, so I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable about it. But given the other indexes are all fallen, I think Russell will also give some gains today. If you look at Dow Jones Industrial Average, we have no candle or price action for us today here, but I think that it's likely to follow the trend of the other indices. And let's look at VIX. So this is the real-time VIX, and we have a candle out here for 19th of October. And you can see that VIX has spurted 2.92% today. So it's still within the range of yesterday, but it's on the VIX of yesterday. So we were not in that area for too long. When we started the market yesterday, we rapidly dropped down. So we are above the level at which we dropped down, and we did most of the trades for yesterday. So VIX is definitely indicating that there is going to be a bit of bearishness in the market today. And if we were to look at the US dollar index, we can see that US dollar index is up 0.33%. It's bouncing along the lower end of the bear channel, bouncing along this line of support, this diagonal green line of support. And our MACD is bearish, and also momentum is above average and picking up. So I'm hoping that because of the effect of releasing oil and lack of demand for US dollars to buy oil, I think there's going to be a little bit of calming of the US dollar, which will be good for the stock market indices. Now let's look at market movers. Let's first look at Microsoft. So if you look at Microsoft, you can see that Microsoft was up 0.41% yesterday, but today pre-market action shows that Microsoft is down 0.60%. And we have a support which was there at 238.81, which has now become a resistance for Microsoft. And we will have to draw further supports, but at this point of time, I would venture to say that the 10-day simple moving average at 234.95 would act as a support for today. MACD is bullish, but momentum is still below average. It's below 50%. So I think Microsoft is likely to give up gains. And if you look at Apple, which was up 0.94% yesterday, pre-market it's down minus 0.80. And we still have the first support at 142.27, because pre-market we are at 142.60, and we have a resistance at 146.58. And if we fail the current level of support, then our next level of support is going to be 141.72, which is the 10-day simple moving average, which is this thick yellow line. Next, let us look at Amazon. Amazon was up 2.26% yesterday, and pre-market it's up marginally at 0.07%. So I think for today, Amazon is going to be range bound between 115.08 in the lower end and 118.62 on the higher end. And its MACD is slightly bullish, but momentum is still below 50%. So I think Amazon is likely also to drag. Google was up 0.61% yesterday. It's down 0.32% today. I think all these four big stocks are going to consolidate sidewards, moving a little bit up and a little bit low, but staying within a 0.35 to 0.40% range, plus or minus, for today. And for as far as Google is concerned, the support for Google is going to come from the 10-day simple moving average, which is this thick yellow line out here, which is sitting at 99.82, and the resistance is going to come in at 103.81. MACD is bullish, but momentum is still below 50%. And you look at Netflix. Netflix was down 1.73% yesterday, but due to the results that it announced, it's up 12.51%. Of course, I don't think Netflix can keep all the gains. There is going to be a little bit of gain giving. So I'm going to see if I can do some calls, but unfortunately, the Canadian deposit receipt doesn't allow for calls, so I can't do any calls on Netflix. But if I had Netflix on the US side, I'd definitely be selling calls right now. That said, now let's go on and look at the commodities. Let's quickly take a look at the commodities. Wheat is up 1.75%, not good for the inflation, but copper is down 1.19, still consolidating out here. And with that said, let's go and look at Genomics. I'm going to sort the Genomics list so that I can have the biggest winner on the top. And the biggest winner happens to be SQZ Biotech, which has gained 14.18% yesterday, and today there are no trades pre-market. And at this point of time, we have a support at 3.02, which happens to be a resistance. It's a support from the past. That's going to be our resistance for today. And our MACD is bullish but tending towards the signal line. Momentum is just above 50%, and which had risen sharply yesterday. We have to see what happens when the market opens. If the overall sentiment is negative, SQZ is likely to give some gains, especially because it went up sharply yesterday. Again, I would think that you have to watch SQZ very closely because the share price is very low, volatility is high. There could be opportunity to do some swing trade or day trade on SQZ. I'm going to be watching that today. Editas was up 4.36% yesterday, no trades pre-market today. Teladoc was up 3.33% yesterday. It's up again 0.20% today, this morning. And the resistance from yesterday, which is the minor resistance at 27.13, still continues to serve as a resistance. And our 10-day simple moving average sitting at 25.14, which is a thick yellow line, continues to be a support for us, because right now we are at 25.50. So that's the two range within which Teladoc is likely to move today. The indicators for it, the MACD and the momentum, are a bit weak. And if you look at Verve was up 1.85% yesterday, but there are no trades today pre-market. Invitae was up 1.38% yesterday, and it's down 1.81% today. We still have a support at 2.15, which is going to perform the role of the first level of support, because right now we are at 2.17, and our resistance is going to be at 2.56. The MACD is bearish and momentum is below average. ARCG was up 1.28% yesterday, no trades pre-market today. DNA was up 1.14% yesterday, pre-market is down 1.13%. So our support, which was there at 2.68, is now a resistance. So I'm going to mark that as a resistance, and our next support is going to come in at 2.12. And we are going to also have a support before that. I'm just going to draw this out here, which is going to be out here at 2.33. This is a new support that I'm plotting out here. So 2.33 is going to be the bottom end, and the top end is likely to be 2.68 for DNA today. Again, it's a focus for swing trading. And CRISPR Therapeutics was up 1.01% yesterday. It's up 0.04% this morning. It still has heavy resistance at 59.23, which is a horizontal resistance. And also, it's merging with the 10-day simple moving average, which is this thick yellow line. And at the bottom, I think it could find some kind of a support out here, which will be a minor support at 54.74. Now let's go on to Intelia. Intelia was up 0.99% yesterday. It's down 0.56% in pre-market action. It has support at 53.99, and it has got a resistance at 56.4 cent. It's likely to be range bound between those two, with a predominant end of having to check the support. Next, we go to Allogene, which was up 0.78% yesterday, no trades pre-market. Illumina was up 0.76% yesterday, no trades pre-market. PSCB was up 0.47% yesterday, it's flat pre-market. And IDNA was down minus 0.15% yesterday, no trades pre-market. Beam was down minus 0.25% yesterday, and no trades pre-market. Next, we look at Bluebird, which was down minus 0.30%, no trades pre-market. Caribou Biosciences were down minus 2.98%, no trades pre-market. IMTX was down minus 3.75%, but no trades pre-market. If I look at Bluebird again, I think we are range bound between 6.44 and 6.86 this morning, and I think we'll stay within that range. If we fall below that, then I will definitely consider looking closely at Bluebird in order to buy a little stake. One thing is because we still have to know information about how they are going to commercialize Integlo and Skysona. Let us see if they have any news articles out here, if they are going to come up with any press conference. There is nothing out here. I'll continue to look for information, my friends. I'll come back to you with more information if I find any. But Bluebird still holds promise of some kind of a takeover or a collaboration or some kind of funding. So that's likely to hurt the market if they come up with equity dilution. So there is action possible in Bluebird. I'm watching out for it and I'll bring it back to you. With that said, my friends, I'd like to bring this video to an end. If you like this video, please press a like out there. And if you're not yet subscribed, please subscribe and help me grow this channel. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.